Good morning, learners. Our topic for today is about the four fundamental operations involving sign numbers. Now, if you have mastered this one already, then this video is not for you. This video is only for those learners who are really confused of the addition and the multiplication. In addition, we know that we can add like signs. We subtract unlike signs. Now in addition and multiplication, there is a problem when it comes to negative signs. In addition, we have negative added to another negative. The answer is negative. But in multiplication, negative times another negative will give us a positive answer. And that is what confused our learners of addition and multiplication. Now, this one is a shortcut video. If you want the long video and you can understand Tagalog, I have there in my site www.xburn.com, and that is the table of contents of all the videos, because some of the videos there you can't find it here in YouTube. It's in my Google Drive. Okay, so let's start now. Now, we see this one. The left sign and then the right sign. The first sign and then the next sign. First sign, next sign. Now, there is another easy technique for you not to be confused with the multiplication or addition. Okay. 1. If the sign on the left is positive and it multiplies or add with this one, of course this one plus this four are all multiplication. Okay, they are all multiplication because we don't have a bracket here. If you have a bracket in the bracket, that's multiplication. So if that is preceded, this one is preceded by a positive, the sign here will not change, as if the positive does not care about the sign of this one. So when you combine them, you follow the sign here. So when you combine them, then it would be positive. Okay. Now, this one is positive. If this one is positive, it does not care of the sign here when they combine. So when you combine them into one, this negative will stay as negative because the positive here will not even mind whether it will change or not, but it will not change. But if this one is the negative one that is on the left, now this one will change when they combine. So because this one is negative, this positive will become negative. When they combine, this will change into negative. So they are now both negative. Okay, this one is negative. So what to expect of this one? It will change from negative to positive because the left one, or the sign that's preceding this one, is negative. So this one will change when we combine them. They will be positive. Okay. Let us have concrete examples so you'll see what's the application of the technique that we are going to use now. So let's have now. This one is used when we have parentheses. When we don't have parentheses, we just apply what we have learned, that we combine like signs. Okay. Here, we will remove the parentheses, the bracket. This one is preceded by what? A plus. So this plus will not care about the sign of the 3 when they combine. So what is the sign of the 3? It's positive. So it will remain as positive when we remove the parentheses. So this one would be 3. We will not write anymore the positive, because you'll be confused of that cross here. Next, we have this one, this positive, and then that negative there. Will this one care about the negative? No, because this one is positive. You will just leave the sign here when they combine. So what's the sign here? Negative. So we have a negative 5 when we remove the parentheses. Now here, what will you do? What is the sign of 3? Positive. That is the first one. And this one is, don't mind about the sign of this one. This one is positive. It means that it won't care about the sign of this one. So what will be the sign here? It's not the final answer. What will you do here? So this will not change. It means it's a minus. So you are going to subtract now because this minus will still be a minus because this one is positive. So we subtract 5 minus 3. The answer is 2. Okay? Okay, not yet. We need to see which of the two numbers is larger. So the 5 is larger, then it is negative, then we have to put the negative here. That's the rule that we cannot leave. Okay, number 2, we have here, we remove the bracket or parenthesis. How do we remove the parenthesis? We look here, what is the sign here? It's positive. So the positive will not care about the negative. The negative will stay as negative. And we put the 2 and we remove the parenthesis. Here, this one is negative. Oh, so this one will change from negative to positive when we remove the parenthesis. So it will be plus. So we have here like that. Okay. Now you can use your rules of unlike signs, negative, positive, we subtract. I think it's better to use that one. Or if you want to apply our rules, then there's this negative. What will you do with the next sign? Because this one's negative, you change this one into negative. And that negative is not really negative. It's here is minus. So it means that you have to subtract. So 5 minus 2 is 3, and which is bigger, the 5 or the 2? It's the 5. So what's the sign? It's positive. Okay, but I think in this form class, we just ask, do they have the same signs? If they have the same signs, you add. If they have different signs, you subtract. I think that's better, easier than using our principle here. Okay, number 3. Right, we open, confused of this one, when we read this one as negative 3 minus 8. So when we remove this one, this is preceded by a plus, a positive. So when we remove the bracket, it is still negative 3 because this one is the I don't care positive. And then this one is negative. Okay, so the sign of 8 here will change. What's the sign of 8? It's positive. So what will happen to the positive here? It will become negative. So now we put a negative 8 here. Alright, follow the rules of addition. Like signs we add. So negative, negative, same color, same signs. We add 3 plus 8, 11. And if you apply what's the sign here, of course negative, negative, it is still negative here. Okay, so that is negative 11. Okay, how about addition or subtraction in vertical form like this? So in the vertical form here like this is the boss, this is the boss, and this one is the slave. Negative 10, still negative 10. You don't do anything with the sign of the upper part there. So what about this one? This one is a negative. What's our principle? If the first one is negative, we change this one because this one is negative. We change this one, it would become plus, and then we have the 3. Now, like signs? No. Unlike? Yes. Then we subtract. 10 minus 3, 7. Next one, which is bigger? 10. It's a sign? Negative. So we have negative 7. Number 5. We have a negative here. Okay, we just write negative 10 there. Now, this one is the boss, but the boss is the boss that does not care. So if he does not care about the 2, the sign of the 2, so the negative 2 is still negative 2 here. So first rule in addition, ask, do they have the same signs? Negative, negative? Yes. What will you do if they have the same signs? We add. So you have 10 plus 2 is 12. And negative, negative, there's no positive there. So we know it is negative 12. Okay, class. Let's have example number 6. This is now multiplication and 2 divisions here, and we have the distributive property of multiplication. So before I erase this one on our previous lessons, so I just wrote here positive, whatever the sign here, you get the sign, and you remove the bracket, and it's the sign here. If that is negative, you change the sign here, and then place it there. Okay, so that will be your sign after removing the parentheses. So read 3 times. There is no plus. Don't tell me that, teacher, this is positive here. No, there's no positive here. There's no plus there because of the bracket or the parentheses. The parent, have the parentheses here. So it is times. Okay, let's apply. The sign here is positive. It's positive 3. So the positive that does not care. So the sign is negative. It will still be a negative because the positive will not command the negative to change to positive because the positive does not care. Okay, it's negative. And then we multiply 3 times 8, 24. Okay, this one is negative. This one is the commander now. So if this one is negative, this one will change the sign because that one is the commander. So what's the sign of 3? It is positive. If it is positive, it will change into negative. And then 8 times 3 is 24. Okay. Okay, let's have number 8. For number 8, this is the boss. Here, up. So what's the sign of the boss? Oh, it's negative. So what will happen to the number down below the 12? So it will change, because this one's negative, it will change into positive. Like across there. And then 12 divided by 4, you have positive 3. Right, what's the boss here? Okay, the I don't care positive is the boss. So he does not care about the sign of the numbers below. So the sign below is negative. So this one is negative. It will not change because this one is the I don't care positive. And then 12 divided by 3, we have the 4. The negative 4. Okay, let's have this one. Let's have the application again. Okay, this one is negative. So what will you do is every sign here will change. Okay, so this one is positive, it will change into negative. This one is negative, it will change into positive. This sign is positive, it will change to negative. Now you can multiply now. 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times 3 is 6. With x, put the x. And then 2 times 4 is 8. That's it. Done. Okay, learners, let's have the last one, the division and multiplication. But this time, we have 3 or more factors with negative and positive signs. So what do we do if we have this kind of problem? Now here, for multiplication, this one is multiplication, multiplication and division, multiplication and division, and we have this kind of problem here. So if you have 3 or more, what you are going to do is just count only the negative numbers. Don't include the count of the positive numbers. Now, if your count is an even number, you know an even number, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, those numbers that end in this 2, 4, 6, 8, 0 are even numbers. Now, if that is even number, then the final sign of your product is positive. Product or quotient, positive. If your count is an odd number, then the final quotient or product will be a negative. Okay. Now let's have an example here. In my example, I used only one. It could be a number 2, 3, 4, 45.6, but just for the sake of example and learning this negative, positive product quotient, then we'll use 1, because the answer will be 1. It's either positive or negative. This one is negative 1 times positive 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. Now, in our rule of multiplication, you have negative times positive is negative, negative times negative is positive, positive times negative is negative. Okay. Now, in our rule, we will just count the number of negatives. So, we just count this one. 1, 2, 3. And what is 3? That is an odd number. So, if that is an odd number, so what will be the sign? It is negative. Of course, if you multiply 1, 1, 1, 1, so our answer will be 1. Okay? Okay, number 2. Just count only the negative. Don't count the positive. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 is an even number. What will be the sign of our answer? Positive. So we have positive there. 1 times 1 times 1 divided by 1. It's 1. I will not write anymore the cross for positive. Number 3, we have multiplication above. And below we have multiplication also. But because of this bar, this is division. It's just like quotient. The final answer is quotient. And what's the sign? We count the number of negatives only. So here, we don't count this one because this one's positive. We count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And what is 6? 6 is an even number. Therefore, our sign here will be positive. And 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 divided by 1 times 1 over 1 is simply 1. Okay. Application number 4 is the sample number 4. Which is greater here? The negative 6 raised to the 40th exponent or the negative 10 raised to the negative 5? So we know, we don't care about the number here, but we care about the sign. Because we know that if that is a positive number, that is bigger than all the negative numbers. So here, how many negatives do we have here? Negative 6. So we have 40 negative. And what is 40? That is even. And what's the sign, the final answer? If we have positive, negative signs, which is even, 40. So our sign here will be a positive. It's a big number. What about this one? We have negative. How many negative do you have here? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just going to remove that one. Don't. Alright, to the 5th. Okay, let's to the 5th. Here. Okay. So, we have how many negative here do you have here? It's 5. So, it means that the answer here will be a negative 1. So, this one is bigger than the negative 1. What if you place here 57? So, what is the final sign? It is still negative. It is still bigger than that one. If you make this one 573 exponent, what is the sign now? It is odd number, so it's still negative. This one is still bigger than this one. How about if you make this one A simple to the third power. Oh no, it's to the fourth power. Will this one be bigger than that one? Yes, because 4 is even, that would be positive, and all positive numbers are greater than all negative numbers. So that is the application. If we have 3 or more factors, we just count the number of negatives. If we don't have the negative there, then it's positive. Okay, thank you.